Hello, Andrea St. Amand. Let's talk about men today. I love men. In fact, I love that song. It's raining men. That's gonna be my heaven. So this is not a this is not a male bashing video by any stretch of the imagination. What I do want to talk about though today is that obviously our society is changing dramatically and has in the last decades. And we as women need to embody the divine feminine more than ever to go forward and lead men into the divine masculine. Obviously, every human being has like the divine feminine and masculine in them both at the same time. Hi, Tommy. Speaking of like a divine masculine man in here right now. Um, like going back, it just hit me before I got on this video that my mother, as a single mother, as a single woman in the 70s, couldn't get a car loan by herself. Like she had to have her father co-sign for her, even though she totally could afford it. She had a great job. She had full benefits. She needed a man to sign for her. So when you look at where we've come from the 70s to where we are now, women have really come out. We have more freedoms and more independence than we've ever had. And y'all, we got to step into a role of leadership. And I'm seeing, what I'm seeing right now, and you guys are noticing this too, I'm sure, is that when you go into higher consciousness um, groups, Facebook groups, or higher consciousness, any sort of um, plateau, there's a lot more women than men. And so it seems like on a superficial level that women just right now are more woke than men, right? It just feels like that. And that can be incredibly frustrating because a lot of women are experiencing like they're outgrowing their partners. Or they're outgrowing their friends, which actually happens to all of us when we tend to outgrow people. But part of it, a friend of mine, Patty, who's in here right now, actually suggested to me this morning, she's like, well, maybe women are just better communicators. And I do think that's true. I do think we're more open about our communication and we're more open with our heart. But we are in a time when women are stepping forward, and I feel like men are starting to step back. And y'all, we cannot be the evil that we're trying to replace. And I don't think a lot of women get that. I see a lot of women so angry and they want to male bash. They just want like all the men gone. And it's just this horrible energy. And that's not our role. That can't be what we're doing or where we're going with this progress, because that's not going to be progress. That's just replacing like one evil with another evil. So if we look at like whatever the state of affairs have been in society for the last hundreds of years, it's really the energy that's been bad, and we just need, and that energy is not divine feminine or divine masculine. So historically though, like going really way, way back, the divine feminine is leading and teaching others to come into darkness. It's leading into darkness. It's leading the way, and darkness meaning the unknown. So women have been more intuitive, more communicative. That's not to say that men aren't, but that's just that divine feminine energy, and that's our role. That is our job. We have a responsibility to step into that leadership role in terms of being intuitive and leading other people, which means you got to get your own house in order. You got to do it as a member of society. You have to do it as a great partner. And you have to do it as a mother to sons. And I think it is easier for mothers and sons for that relationship, but it's harder for women in society and women to find good partners who are as consciously elevated, or at least willing to talk about it, as the women are. I mean, I have male friends who are brilliant, and right now, because of everything that's going on in society, they're scared to even ask me what I do. And I think there's a lot going on there with like this changing energy with men in society. So men still have instilled with them that they can't make a fool of themselves in front of a woman, or they have to be all knowing and they have to be all perfect. And we all kind of have that, right? But men, you really see it. So they're less willing to step out in a touchy-feely way or in an imaginative way than women are. So we gotta lead. And all the men, y'all gotta lead too. We've got to lead. we have to really lead in a grounded, knowledgeable way, which means you've got to get your own emotional house in order. You've got to work on yourself. You have to understand intuition. I hear people all the time saying, I'm highly intuitive, and they don't even know what the word means. But you've got to know it. You've got to go into your own darkness, and you've got to then be willing to very lovingly lead everybody else. It's not about bashing and smashing and creating a war against men. So that energy just, I hope it goes away, but there's a lot of it out there. I'm gonna say something else about my male friends just hit me and it left. Yeah. Anybody have any questions about this? I'm seeing like some questions over here. I'll just type down into it. Yeah. I think that's it. It's just like we're on like the cusp, and we do have a responsibility. We absolutely have a responsibility to ourselves and to our partners. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I was going to share with you something. Being talked in terms of outgrowing a partner. So many women are really, really frustrated when they start to wake up and their partners are not awake. Their partners are still asleep, they're skeptical, and they don't even want to talk about spirituality, much less talk about emotions or mental development or any psychological development or anything like that. And that was my ex, and that would be the operative word in this sense, ex. He's an ex. He's an ex for that reason, and that's hard. That's really hard when we start to step into more of ourselves. It might mean that people around you deselect. It's hard. I'm not going to lie, but you got to do it. You have to do it. As women, we have to demand something higher for ourselves. We have to not keep accepting mediocrity. We have to not keep accepting a lot of lack in our lives, and we got to step it up. And by doing that within ourselves, even if a partner deselects, you're holding a space, and you're going to hold space and create space for a partner that can really, really suit you and will match you, and then you can go forward and lead together. But it's really it's really important. And ladies, it's our responsibility, and woke men, it's y'all's responsibility too. So okay, love you. Reach out to me if you want help working on yourself and getting to that next level, because we have to do it for the planet and for society. All right, bye.